Hey guys, today I want to talk about underrated foundations. These are some of my favorite foundation products that I just don't hear a ton of buzz about here on YouTube or just in the real world as well, and I just wanted to give them a little extra attention. I have separate review videos on almost all of these, as well as just some videos where I am using them, so I will list all of those videos down below if you want to see the product actually in action and how it looks on my face. The first one I want to talk about that I kind of want to get out of the way because I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking about this foundation, and I do think that in the last 6 months or so I have seen more people talk about it, is this Stellar Limitless foundation. And Stellar is a brand that you can get at Sephora. It's not in every store, but I know you can get it online. This foundation is just so good. It's got this beautiful like natural satin but still a little bit glowy formula. It's very thin and runny but gives a lovely medium coverage. I feel like this is just one of those foundations that works for so many different people because, like I said, it is very glowy, it is very hydrating, it's got that gel-like formula. But even as somebody with oily skin, I find that it wears beautifully. Even when I do get shiny, it doesn't break apart, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look gross. And I have the shade LO2 as well as SO2. Sometimes I mix them together. Just depends on how I'm feeling. This next one is the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Foundation. I don't actually wear this foundation a ton simply because my skin, especially in the summer months, is just too oily, too sweaty to really give this a fair chance. But if you have drier skin or even just like a normal skin and you like that very hydrating formula, definitely give this one a try. I don't hear enough people talking about it. It's just so glowy and so beautiful on the skin. It gives a really nice medium coverage, but you can sheer it out if you just wanted to use your fingers as well. And actually surprisingly long wearing for a name like Argan Oil Foundation. And I don't want you to think, if you do have an oilier skin type, that this is like an oily foundation. It is not at all. It's like a really thick kind of creamy gel texture. I have the shade RG5, which is a little bit too light for me actually, and a little bit too like neutral pink, but when I mix it with something that's a little bit too dark, it's perfect. This foundation is the Clinique Acne Solutions Liquid Makeup, and this is one that I've used for so long. It's just such a good foundation, guys. Thin, super lightweight, dries down, great for oily skin, long lasting. It also has the benefit of some salicylic acid in there, so it can help with if you have acne prone skin. Unfortunately, the shade range is really terrible for this. I'm pretty sure they have like 4 or 5 colors, and the shade that I have is 01 Fresh Alabaster, which is not a great match for me. I do have to mix it with like a white mixer. But I think this is probably one of my favorite foundation formulas ever. I can wear it all year round because there's like a hint of something very soft and hydrating about it, yet completely dries down and lasts all day. And if you can get a shade match, definitely give it a try. Again, especially if you have that combo oily skin. Stila. This is the Stila Stay All Day Foundation and Concealer. So it has like a pot concealer on the top here that I never use. It's very like greasy. Reminds me of the Glossier Stretch Concealer, which just isn't my fave for my skin. But the foundation is so good. It has like such a weird packaging. You like push this down and foundation comes out the top. This is so beautiful, guys. This actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the Clinique Acne Solutions makeup that I just talked about, but I think this Stila foundation has more coverage. So I would say this one has a medium, kind of leaning full coverage, and you can definitely build it as well and still looks like skin. The texture of this is like a whipped formula. I have the shade Porcelain 0. It's like a little bit orangey for me. It does oxidize. All right, this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light Soft Matte Hydra Makeup. And I know this one isn't like totally underrated. I think the people who like this foundation really, really, really like it, me included. But it just doesn't get obviously as much hype as like the Estee Lauder Double Wear Original. It has a beautiful medium coverage, dries down, looks like skin, lasts all day. And it's like the perfect combination of like a matte, I would say it's like a satin matte look, but also having that like refreshing feeling. And I think people often overlook it because they think that it's got way less coverage than the normal Estee Lauder Double Wear, which, you know, it does have less coverage. But I think the reason they call it Double Wear Light is because it feels so much lighter on your skin. Just a beautiful everyday foundation. Okay, this is a super random one. This is the Femme Couture Rosé All Day Foundation. You can get this foundation at Sally Beauty. I'm pretty sure it was like, I don't know, maybe 10 bucks or something. And much like the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation, it's one of those like thicker cream foundation that really hydrates and plumps your skin all day. It never like dries out during the day, you know, like some foundations, like they look so beautiful and hydrating and glowy when you first put them on, and then like 2 hours later they look kind of crusty. This one does not do that. It stays looking plump and glowy all day long. Definitely best for a drier or just like a normal skin type, but even if you have oily skin, I love mixing this in with other like more matte foundations just to like give my skin that like that glow, that plumpness. It just looks very, very youthful, and I think this would be great if you had a more mature skin type as well. I have the shade Alabaster, which is a pretty neutral, cool shade, very, very light. Okay, this next one is probably one of my most worn products. It's the Pixi H2O Skin Tint. This is a tinted face gel. This isn't really a foundation, it really is a skin tint. It's one of those ones that you just kind of rub in with your fingers. I just wanted to mention it because it is so good and I rarely hear people talk about it. It's glowy, it doesn't like sink into my fine lines, it's just gorgeous. Actually completely undetectable, and it doesn't stay tacky either. Like often I find with like skin tints and BB creams and all that, like especially with my oily skin, like they just never dry down. But this one actually does. Just gorgeous. And even when I have like actual flakes on my skin or really rough texture, this just smooths it out, and it's just amazing. Okay, and last but not least is the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup. This is gorgeous. Again, it's one of those ones where the shade range sucks. I feel like that's such a theme. Why do shade ranges just suck? This is one of the glowiest foundations ever. It's so cheap. It's literally like $5. It says it has a vitamin complex and cranberry water. I'm just so impressed with this whole thing. Like, it's in a totally glass bottle. It's got a pump. Beautiful. It's a little bit dark for me. I have the shade 10 Fresh Ivory, which, you know, I don't know if I would really call that ivory. But when I have a little bit of color in the summer, this is such a beautiful foundation. It looks like MAC Face and Body when you have it on the skin. But I would say that this one is actually like a little bit longer wearing than that. If you're looking for just like super easy, I would say somewhere between a light and a medium coverage, really glowy, really natural, looks like skin. If you can find a shade, give it a try. Okay, that is the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, I have videos on all of these foundations, or at least videos where I'm using these foundations, so they will all be linked down below so you can see them in action, see how they look, see how they perform on my skin. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I put out new videos every single week. I love you guys so, so, so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.